And we are live. What's up, guys? Welcome to another Sunday Live Q&A. We got the one and only Hector Castillo, i.e. known as Papi. He'll have to share with us the origins of that nickname. But yeah, so let me know, because we have had some issues with audio quality in the past. Hopefully that's all behind us. So let us know in the comments how the audio is coming out, because I don't want to get like halfway through this and then have people be like, yo, I couldn't hear shit. All right, man. So yeah, give us a little background about yourself, how you got into the game, how you got started working with Girls Chase and all that.
Sure. Okay, so started off 17, pretty lonely kid. I was always really passionate about women. I always loved them and chased after them. Then I think about, I remember when I was like kindergarten, like I was chasing girls, making out with them under the table. Then when did it start to go downhill? I think I was just behind on puberty and I didn't have a father growing up. So I think I just lacked that masculine influence. I know that's a common story for a lot of guys these days. So I kind of had to forge my own masculinity but it came to an advantage for me in some ways too, because I had kind of a feminine mind. So I really understood women, and I was watching my mother's relationships and seeing how she really felt about them. So it was like an inside look into women. So I had a good foundation, but I just lacked that masculine drive and got bullied and all that shit. And then I was late to puberty. So, the other kids are starting to get testosterone boosts a lot earlier than me. So I think it was just a lot of things piled up. Then I was about 17 and there was this really hot girl. You guys probably don't watch girly TV shows, but there's this show called Gossip Girl.
Speak for yourself, sir.
Oh, you're a fan of Gossip Girl? Okay. But there was basically a nerdy kid, and his name was Dan Humphrey, and then there was like the popular guy, Chuck Bass. And I started to, I had this girl fall in love with me, and she was like Serena Vanderwoodson, kind of the beautiful blonde girl. So she fell in love with me and chased after me, and I had no idea why. But eventually things didn't work out, and I was really heartbroken for like 6 months. And then I had been watching a lot of, these are very important to me. There's this anime called Berserk, and then I was reading a lot of Nietzsche. And then somehow those two things like fucking converged. And then the third pillar was I was reading Tucker Max. I Hope They Serve Beer in Hell. Yeah. And he was a super big influence on me. And it just showed me what's possible and how I can maybe be a little bit more of a dick. And I was like, all right, I'm going to try this out. I was willing to put in the work once I came to the conclusion that, things needed to change. So I started to get a little bit more social, went to my first party, got drunk for the first couple times. Then college hit. And right before college hit, I was in the summer, there was these two beautiful twins in my high school. And me and my friends were in the basement playing World of Warcraft. And we added them on Facebook. And we were all trying to, hit on them. And I actually ended up attracting one of them. And they're both hot. But I actually think that the other twin, now looking back, was hotter, but anyways, I got together with her and started a relationship just as we went off to college. Kind of probably not the best decision, but it gave me this nice, like, I knew I had a girlfriend, so it was just flirting. And I had all these opportunities just flying at me now that I was, putting myself out there and like training myself socially, knowing like, okay, I got to learn how social dynamics work. And I was very becoming aware of them and kind of came up with my own natural system. So then I started, I broke up with her the next summer. And then I went kind of crazy, started getting lays. Then I got a serious girlfriend, and then I broke up with her. And then that's when I shot off, because that's when I found Girls Chase. She had actually dumped me. I went to Sweden, started doing day game. That's how I found Girls Chase. I was Googling day game. And then I got back with her because she could feel I was, getting action. And women can always sense things, there's some sort of sixth sense of thinking that can be like emotions that could be felt. I'm 100% sure. And she chased after me, got back together. And then I was like seeing what was possible. So I said, fuck this. I broke up with her and I went absolutely fucking nuts. And I became like, I made my transformation coming back to the Gossip Girl story from Dan Humphrey to Chuck Bass. And I became like the super popular guy. Everyone knew me at college. I had my own little experience with fame. because it was only like 8,000 people in the college. So I got to learn everything about social circle, gossip, reputation, and how to handle friendships and being a lover and keeping your mouth shut when you get with girls and all of that. And so after that, I was already writing for Girls Chase a little bit, and then I went full time on it. And then eventually I made my way to Europe because I worked with Chase on his One Date product. And then from there, I've been a Girls Chase coach and traveled around the world, meeting lots of girls, ended up in Romania. And then now I'm in Ukraine because these are the most beautiful women in the world. So that's where I'm at today.
So how did you explain a little bit more how you started working for Girls Chase? So at first you said you started just doing guest posts, and then what happened?
So, well, actually, I posted a lay report on the forums, and it was I think it was Christmas Day, actually. I posted a lay report. I raw dogged some girl in an alleyway in Prague, and I posted that one. Then I fucked an American chick. And I posted those 2 lay reports, and Chase responded to one of them. And then I fucked a special forces officer in Slovakia, a girl one. When you hear special forces, you think it's some big burly guy. But I was showing my direct game. I was super direct, and that wasn't very popular, or just not a lot of people did it. And Chase responded, he's like, you have a very interesting style. You have your own natural thing, but you seem to be aware of the tenets that I teach in Girls Chase. And so he took a notice of me. And then I started posting more, and I was getting popular on the forums, and people were coming to me. And so I started becoming a coach a little bit, just kind of casually. And then we started coming into private contact, and I was talking to Chase, and he kind of started to mentor me. And then by the summer, he kind of made me his protege, and I became kind of his star pupil. And that's when I wrote my first, I did a 3-part college game series. That was my first 3 articles, and it got really good reception, in traffic. So he's like, if you want to come on full time, I actually met him in person. He was traveling around America, so we met up, and he's like, yeah, if you want to write full time, then come on ahead. So I started writing full time, and then a few years later, I started doing private coaching. That's when I really became like a integral part of the team. At least I hope.
Who? So it's you, Chase. Is there anyone else behind the scenes?
Yeah, we have a few writers. We have Alec Rolstead. He's one of the more prolific writers. We had Varun Raja. He was posting a lot. I haven't seen him in a while though. We take on like a lot of guest posts, but the main posters, I've been writing a lot of articles because now I'm doing YouTube. But it's mostly Chase. We've had a lot of different authors come and go. Alec is super. We have another guy, Daniel. So I guess we have I'd say Tony Depp. We have 5 guys who are pretty consistently posting articles.
But you're in charge of the YouTube channel, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. So I run the YouTube channel. I do it exclusively, but we're going to be coming out actually with our own video platform, Girls Chase TV. It's active.
Yeah. I remember Chase was telling me about that.
Yeah. It's active right now. You could type in Girls Chase TV and it's there. We just got to update some of the videos and descriptions, but we're going to fully launch it probably very soon, actually.
So you want to create your own video platform, like basically something like a YouTube?
Yeah, but just for dating advice. So what we hope to do is to have anyone who, is credible and knows their shit and is good on video, because it's a specific skill, to be good on video. So, if you want to come in and make videos, you can post them on there, and it'll be a men's dating specific kind of YouTube.
Interesting.
Yeah. To get away from the censorship, and traffic will be a lot more focused. People will be there specifically to get dating advice, not just random ass people on YouTube because they want to come troll and hate on it. And we'll probably do a subscription for premium services for if you want to get more videos, exclusive videos.
Or you just bombard people with ads like YouTube does, and then if they want to get ad-free experience, then
no ads, only dating product ads.
Gotcha. Cool, good stuff, man. All right, so let's jump into some questions.
Sure.
I know we got a bunch building up.
Okay.
How do you keep intrigue while also showing the girl you care about her? Like, how do you keep the girl wondering if she's on your mind and show abundance without coming off too boyish? What are your thoughts on this, Hector?
Girl wondering if she's on your mind. So we want to kind of balance her knowing you're interested without, and then showing abundance. So maybe kind of balancing it without coming off fuckboyish. Okay, so texting, we'll go over kind of texting, and then I guess like in-person acting like behavior. So texting, what I suggest guys do is, I think a lot of guys kind of want to, like, texting is only for logistics, and it primarily is. But I have noticed that there's a consistency of results when I keep in touch with girls. Obviously, she needs to be the one first saying, hey, or hey, what's up, or how's your day? Maybe 1 out of 3 times. But as the guy, you're doing most of the pursuing. But there's a fine line between pursuing and chasing. So if you want her to know that she's on your mind and you're not too much of a fuckboy, and you're only talking to her when you want to put your dick in her, I would say every 2 to 3 days you want to check in on her. And it could be a simple little text like, hey, hope you're having a good morning, or hey, the weather's looking beautiful today. It doesn't have to be complicated. It's just, think about the reverse. Ask this question, but now about her. How would she let you know you're on her mind? Well, if she was texting you every couple of days, hey, how are you, good morning, hey cutie, whatever, you would feel as if she's still interested. But when she goes to for 2 weeks and hasn't texted you, you feel like, wow, and sometimes that can create interest, just like it can do for girls when you don't text them. But if too much goes by, it could make you crazy for her, or it can make you feel like, okay, she's just not interested and you're not going to put in the effort to continue to pursue her. So I would say every 2 to 3 days, keep in touch with her. And then hopefully if you're doing it right, if you have a good text game and if she's interested in you, she'll hit you up every once in a while too. But unless you're already sleeping with her, I wouldn't expect her to be too high interest unless from the start she really liked you for whatever reason, you're her type. But then on balancing that of her feeling like you're interested, you got to show abundance, but without being a fuckboy. So I wouldn't suggest talking about other women. The only time that I would talk about other women and explicitly let her know that you have abundance is if the context comes up and you're going to tell a story about like something that happened, a past relationship. She'll know. You just got to tell a quick like anecdote or story.
Like a rich guy bragging about how rich he is. Let me tell you guys a story about how much money I made in the stock market today. Yeah. Here we go again.
It's unnecessary. It's unnecessary to bombard her with that. And I've tried it, especially when I was really upfront about what I do for a living. I was telling girls, I'm a dating coach. And so they'd come to that like, oh my God, he's a fuckboy. And I dealt with so much testing because of that.
Well, I still do that all the time. I say I'm a sex and dating coach.
Yeah, it can really get a lot of interest and it makes for fantastic conversation. But then what I did a few times is I didn't say it, and I just said I work in marketing or copywriting, which is technically true, or self-improvement coaching. And what I noticed was that there was a much less tests and much less shit that she was giving me. And then I was purely going off of the abundance, because if she sees that from her perspective, if she sees that you are a sexy guy, you're charismatic, you're funny, you carry yourself well, and if she's attracted to you, it's kind of like if you fuck a girl's friend, she's going to think, well, by like transitive property, he probably could fuck me. He's fuckable. That's why if you fuck a girl's friend, she's going to be interested in you. So if a girl thinks that, she finds you attractive, or someone of her level finds you attractive, then other women must think you're attractive. So if she thinks you're attractive, you actually kind of have some abundance, because she thinks, well, this guy is attractive. He must not only be talking to me. Girls are smart. They, some of them at least are aware that you're probably talking to other women. And even when you don't mention being a player, girls will bring it up, be like, so are you talking to other girls? And they'll make comments like that. And they'll get sometimes even territorial or jealous, which is a good sign, but you want to be careful. The question is really good. You don't want to come off too fuckboyish. So I would just avoid specifically talking about any other women unless it's very in the context. I wouldn't bring it up. I know sometimes guys would purposefully like accidentally show like nudes, like, hey, they're gonna show a photo to a girl, and then they have like a nude that from a girl like right on the slide left of it. And I've known, you know, some guys have said it's got me laid, you know, and I've showed girls fucking stuff before, and it does help, but it can come off too fuckboyish, and then her resistance goes up because she doesn't want to just be another notch on your bedpost. Girls like fuckboys, but at the same time, they don't. They want this paradox, which is possible. I call it the Playboy paradox, where if you get no hoes, well, why would she want you? She wants the guy that all the other girls want, but at the same time, she wants to feel special. So don't talk about other girls. Show interest. Don't be afraid of showing interest. It's always a balance. If you see that showing high interest gets high interest from her, then keep doing whatever you're doing. If you see that whatever X level, like, you know, throttle of interest you're giving is making her kind of now either snobby and like kind of arrogant or kind of cold and distant, then you got to pull it back. And then that'll like pull the lever that way and she'll kind of come back. So it's always this game of balance. But yeah, just don't talk about other girls. I would really watch sarcasm. I know some guys really don't do it so well sometimes. I wouldn't tease her too much. You only have to tease a girl once or twice and she knows that you don't take shit. Or she gives you a shit test and you kind of just like look at her like, okay, whatever. And you know, blow it off and she's like, oh, wow. You know, he just like blew past that shit test. And so if you do one or two of those, she knows they'll come up again, but she'll know like, okay, this is where his boundaries are. And she'll respect you and be attracted to you, but then not so much that she's intimidated or thinks that she's just another girl on the notch post.
Yeah, my take is pretty simple. How do you keep intrigue while also showing the girl you care about her? Well, first of all, if it's just a girl you haven't really met with yet, or a girl you're not really seeing, then you probably wouldn't show that you care about her because that wouldn't really make sense, right? Why would you care about a person you don't really know? So there's a big difference between showing a little bit of interest and caring about someone. I'm assuming that thus by the question that he's talking about a girl that he's already seeing. So, I mean, you show intrigue by not constantly blowing her up and like just, hey, how's your day? Hey, how are you? Hey, what do you do today? Hey, what's up? Hey. Like, just don't do that. I mean, really simple. Like, just have your own life and have shit that you're doing. And, you know, you can hit her up with stuff that's relevant to her. Like, for example, let's say you have an inside joke or something like that, and you stumble upon something that's relevant to that. Then, yeah, you can, like, mention that. I crack a lot of jokes also over text. I mean, you know, it's mainly just me trolling and shitting on, not shitting, but like me cracking jokes and stuff like that. But, yeah, I mean, you show intrigue by not being the one that's always like, hey, what's up? Hey, how are you? Hey, how's your day? Hey. So just don't do that. And then, you know, you'll probably be good. That's kind of my take on that. Let me know in the comment if you want more elaboration on that. I know I kind of glossed over the question, but when introduced to a group at a house party, for example, can you make it obvious which girl you like? If you can't isolate right away, do you start teasing in front of the group? Do you make it obvious which girl you like? Well, that'd be kind of awkward, right? Like you're introduced to a group of people. I like you. I claim you. Like some Viking type of shit. You just like grab her and just drag her away. I'm isolating you right away. You start teasing her in front of the group. I mean, yeah, this is the balance between being explicit, implicit, right? So there's the guy who can't show intent at all, and there's the guy like who needs to show intent explicitly and be like, you're really hot, right? But there's like that fine in between where you can show intent, not in the conscious things you do, but the subconscious and your eye contact and your body language and just like the vibe that you create. So really the trick is finding that balance and being able to show intent implicitly. What do you think about this, Hector?
So I think both ways can work. I like being really direct. And if I am at a party, and obviously if I don't know anyone at all, then I'll be a little bit more, I'll wait. And I'll wait for her to introduce herself, even though like she'll meet me and say, hey, I'm Alyssa or whatever. I'll wait to truly introduce myself because I'll be watching her body language and eye contact. If I catch her like looking at me a lot or moving her way towards me or like, oh, so what do you do, Hector? Then I can kind of start to get her in. If you're kind of in that social circle already, because what you want to basically avoid, because no one in a social circle wants the fuckboy actually, because that's competition and he's going to take away the pussy. So you want to be a little bit careful to, you know, let everyone know that you get bitches. On the other hand, if you have a little bit of an in with them, or if you just don't give a fuck,
You like whisper in someone's ear.
yeah, I'm gonna fuck her. I would say I'd get introduced to a girl and I'm just like, wow, you're beautiful. But I've learned how to be direct in a way that comes off super just like I'm talking about the weather. Like it's just a thing that comes out of my mouth and it's totally, and everyone's like, oh, okay, I guess he's just like that. So I'll just be like, oh, wow, nice to meet you. You look fantastic today. Or like, wow, you're gorgeous. And I'll just, boom, put it out there. And then I'll immediately see her reaction. Then if I see that there's no interest, or if later on in the night she didn't because once you put that out there, if she does like you, she'll find a way to, come near you, or, she'll want to talk to you again. If I don't see that, then it's cool. I just gave one compliment. It didn't even fall flat. She probably was polite and happy that I said it. Even if she doesn't like you, she'll still be receptive towards a compliment. Then I just leave it. Then I'm the kind of guy who can I'll throw out little compliments here and there, but I'm not like going super in and, trying to isolate her like he suggested. So, I wouldn't, when you first get introduced to a party, I'd say if you're not too, okay, so let's talk experience level. I'd say if you're like an experience or like middle tier, I would say play it on the safe side. And wait until girls are showing you body language or investment by asking you questions. Eye contact's the hugest one, especially when someone else is talking in the group. You can watch to see if she makes eye contact with you, because you'll be like looking at the person who's talking, they're telling a story, everyone's laughing, whatever, and you just like look over and you just catch her looking at you, and then she looks away and you're like, okay, check mark, like she's interested. So maybe later on, while I'm passing by her, I'm going to the bathroom or she's in the kitchen, I'll make my way towards her group. Then stay in that group context. Then maybe, if you smoke, you'd be like, hey, I'm going for a smoke if you want to join me. Or maybe just go walk outside and see if she'll like go out of her way to come outside and join you. Sometimes I'll isolate myself in a party because I like being alone sometimes. And I'll just walk out on the balcony or whatever, or walk outside and just kind of have a moment to myself. And I found that sometimes girls will see that that as an entry point for her to kind of like get in and talk to you. So I wouldn't start teasing her. I don't think that's a good way to show too much interest, unless it's like very contextual and you're very good at recognizing and reading the room. Like, okay, this joke is going to work right now. I would say watch the body language, because she's going to be interested in you right away, like pretty quickly, because you're kind of vetted. You're being invited to a party. So you have at least like a little bit of a ticket. So I would just use that and your fundamentals, your body language, your eye contact, your the way you look, the way you dress, look for attraction there, then slowly start making your way towards her and kind of like positioning yourself and seeing if she'll come near you. Then you can, once you get into a good conversation, then you could try and isolate her.
Touche. All right. How soon after seeing a girl do you start being romantic, giving gifts, planning road trips? I never want to invest too soon to avoid losing attraction. Well, me personally, I never do any of that. I mean,
that's pretty extreme. Gifts are.
Yeah, like I give gifts for like birthdays and
yeah, of course,
maybe Christmas, but like not just randomly. I feel like it's kind of weird, honestly. Like, I don't know. Planning road trips. I mean, I don't know. I've got on road trips, but it's usually where I need to go somewhere and I just invite someone to tag along.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like I'm an extreme case where I just like only want to do what I want to do. I don't really want to do things that other people want to do unless it's something that I want to do. I don't know. I don't really like to go the romantic route. Like, honestly, like I've been in relationships and I've had girlfriends and I do like romantic things for them. Like if it's their birthday, like I remember my second girl, I won't say her name, I won't name drop her. But yeah, so I remember like for her, like she was like, Alex, when can we do something nice? When can we take a nice trip? We always just like, I don't even know, like we always just go to Whole Foods and then like
come home and cook and fuck.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm like, all right, like, well, your birthday's coming up in like 2 months. We'll take a nice trip to Santa Barbara. So, it's like a big thing. It's like a reward for them. But yeah, I mean, but that's just, again, that's not really my personality. So if you really like doing road trips and shit like that, then that could be different. But that's not your personality. I wouldn't force it. Don't think you have to do that to keep girls around. That's pure nonsense. I mean, also use common sense here. Like, you just start seeing the girl. Like, don't suggest road trips. You've been seeing each other for like 4, 5, 6 months, and that might be a little bit of a different story. I mean, I feel like you have some insight on this, Hector, because now you said you're like, you've met a girl and you guys have started seeing each other. So what's kind of like your take on that?
So I actually remember I was in college and there was this friend I had, and he was very low empathy and almost a sociopath, but yet he was sometimes really romantic. But I remember he started seeing this girl and she was smoking hot, and he was kind of like, wow, I fucked this girl. And he was really kind of crazy about her. I guess sociopaths can still get attached. And he invited her for a concert for a group that they both like, or a rapper. I think it was Jeezy, actually. Yeah, they were going to go to a Jeezy concert. And he bought her tickets. I was like, hey, you want to go? And she was like, yeah, sure. But then after that, he started like, I don't think it was specifically that, but I think that was the start of the downfall. And he started becoming super attached. Like if she didn't want to hang out, he got mad and he fucked it up. So that always showed me like, okay, you don't want to do too much investment really quickly. However, at the same time, I'm a little bit more romantic, but not with big gestures. I'm romantic in my language, and I'm romantic in how I treat girls. So when I have a first date with a girl, if I'm very attracted to her, I'll be very romantic. I'm not saying I want to marry you. We're going to be together forever and we're going to go on trips. No. I'm just very romantic in the way that I treat her. Like I look at her like she's fucking special. I speak to her like I'm truly looking at her and trying to look inside of her. And I want to know what makes her tick. And I want to know, why because growing up, like I said in my kind of like origin story, like I was always watching women and I watched how my mother saw her relationships. And so I was always in the female mind. And so I became fascinated and passionate about that. And I don't think if you don't have that, then I wouldn't force it, So if you don't find yourself romantically inclined, then I don't think it's absolutely necessary. Once she starts asking for stuff, then you could be like, okay, maybe we'll go out for a nice dinner one of these days. You don't want to give in immediately, but you do want to satisfy her needs and desires to some extent, or else why is she with you? So I personally, like I said, I'm very romantic in the way that I treat her. I'll tell girls they're gorgeous. I'll compliment them a lot. I'm very highly complimentary. My style is a little bit unique though, so I wouldn't suggest that for a lot of guys. I'm very intense in my eye contact. I like to get really close with girls. I like to get touchy, but I also get sexual. So that's what makes my romanticism not like beta or not lame, is because I'm very sexual with it too. I'm telling her she's special and beautiful, but at the same time, I'm telling her I want to fuck her pussy. So she's not going to feel like, oh, this guy's a loser and he's just, going to propose to me. It's like, oh, he really wants to fuck me. So it's kind of like this, I don't know, like Latin fever kind of like romance. So as for like the way that he explained it, like giving gifts, if you have a good idea for a gift and you want to give it to her, experiment.
The PWF online dating blueprint. That's a great gift for a woman.
Teach you how to pick up girls.
We're gonna have a gift card, that you can give to your to spend at will at the PWF fucking
perfect. Yeah. I would experiment. See, test your ideas. That's the best way to learn. Okay, with this girl, I'm gonna try and be a little bit romantic. And if you like planning road trips, I fucking hate road trips. But if you're a road trip kind of guy, be like, hey, you could be. I'd say you want to sleep with her a few times first. That's at least the bare minimum. Then after like she's locked in, I always consider a girl locked in after 3 separate fucks. Usually I've seen that girls are like, they're down with you after that. But it has to be 3 separate occasions that you fuck.
True.
So once you hit that point, give it a try. Be like, hey, I'm going for a road trip this weekend. I thought about who to bring, and you came up to my. I
would raise the number to probably 5 or 10 at least.
5 or 10. Okay. You can experiment,
You're in Europe though, so it might be different because, like, I feel like there, it's like I feel like in America, people are a little bit more standoffish. Right?
For instance, like in Ukraine, like guys giving girls flowers, like they'll do it on the first date, and it's considered normal. It's considered normal. So there might be a little bit of a cultural thing. So if you're kind of like, okay, Western girls are a little bit this way and that way, then. Like you said, wait like 5 or 10. Wait till she's really locked in and you guys are really casually fucking each other and she's super invested. Then try it and then see what happens. And if you lose her, well, you're supposed to have abundance. So you were willing to experiment for the sake of knowledge.
We're going to take a road trip to the Denny's.
Yeah.
You lived in America. You know about Denny's, right? It's like a shitty fucking America.
Bro, yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, AMS says you should never show high interest, only interest to keep her hooked in your frame. Is this the key to successful long-term relationships? I would say the key to successful long-term relationships is not frame battles. It's first of all picking the right partner, someone who you're compatible with and you have similar values with. That's the first thing. Second of all is being honest, and third of all is communication. So I disagree. Like I just recently, I'm going to release a video tomorrow. I reviewed Rollo Tomasi's 7 iron rules, and some of them I do agree with, but I definitely disagree with this one that like it should just be the whole thing is just a constant frame battle. I mean, that sounds like a fucking nightmare. I know that you're in a red pill.
I would be exhausted.
The whole relationship is just a frame battle where you constantly have to have the girl in your frame. Like, can you imagine? Like, I feel like the red pill community really just like sometimes lacks common sense. Can you imagine if you applied that to your friendships, like you and your buddy, and it's just every time you hang out, it's just a frame battle. You constantly have to have your friend do everything in your frame. Like, it's just like your hangout sessions where you just dread, like, oh shit. Yeah. Fucking seeing my buddy at 9 p.m. for beer is gonna be 2 hours of frame battles. Like, it just sounds fucking horrible. So why the fuck would you want to do that with a chick? But I don't know. That's just me. What are your thoughts on this, Hector? Let me get some coffee real quick.
Sure. AMS or Rollo? What do you want me to?
Both, I guess.
Okay. I guess the frame battle idea. Well, yeah, no, it's fucking exhausting. First of all, if something is super demanding, that's just well, that's high investment. So you're investing too much already. So she's gonna see that. If I have a girl who's constantly like teasing me and trying to argue with me, I know she's super interested because she's like trying to control me, and I'm just sitting back like, okay, and I'll just like kind of like deflect things and be like, all right, whatever. She's like fucking in love with me. So if you're like always doing frame battle, he probably is not so extreme. The phraseology he probably is frame battles. It's just kind of a conflicting vocabulary, but what he's probably meaning is like, yeah, like you said, she's always got to be doing what you want to do, and she never can suggest anything, or probably he's not that extreme, but I would say that
debatable.
I don't know. I don't follow too much of his stuff, just kind of cursory glance. I would just say that it's too much effort, first of all. So if I'm in that kind of relationship, I'm not going to be in it. But I would say that no, like there is a certain level of, like you said, common fucking sense. So if she wants something and it's not like you're losing anything because of it, you're not losing your dignity, like she shouldn't even be asking for anything at that level. Like if she wants to go here and not here, okay, who gives it? Like, let's go. You want steak tonight or you want fucking fried chicken? Okay, you want fried chicken? Okay, we'll go get fried chicken. I don't have to keep you in my frame. So I'd say, you're ideally you really like this girl or love her, so you need to see that human level as well. You do need to be dominant, 100%. And he should be kind of in the lead. But like I'm a really laid back guy. So I actually like when she makes the plans. And the way I see it is I'm the owner. She's the CEO. So she works for me. So or my secretary or whatever, like she makes plans. She does all the work. Perfect. Like I just sit back and just got to fucking get dressed and go. To me, that's more dom than the guy who's like scheduling shit. And, she has to sign on the dotted line for everything and commit to it. As for AMS, I really like AMS. I disagree with some of his statements, but I know he has game. When I look at guys like Rollo, like they have good ideas. I don't know about their game. They could, I don't fucking know the guy, but I just don't feel like they have. My instinct says that their game is not that great. If I look at guys like AMS, that dude has game. I just know because I've met guys like him. So I like his style and I like his vibe. Some of his vice is a bit extreme, but I know he's also focusing on a particular demographic, and he has a kind of a different macro goal than maybe specifically only dating coaching. He kind of makes that clear that he likes. He wants to just teach you to be a high value man. So if you go in that direction, you're going to get results. However, I would say that never showing high interest to a girl in a relationship, I don't think that's a good benchmark because, as you remember, AMS doesn't do relationships. He does polyamory, where he does casual relationships. So he's not doing LTRs. He has before. He said he's lived with girls, but he doesn't like them. So his advice applies mostly to casual relationships. So you have to categorically be careful with people's advice. You have to know exactly what their goal is. So if your goal is long-term relationships, there's no problem with showing high interest. Her interest should be equal or higher to yours. If your interest is always equal to yours, if you're like, come here, beautiful, and she's like, oh, hi, Papi, then there's nothing wrong with being all kissy and gooey. It's not lame. It's not beta because she's reciprocating. If she's still sucking your dick on command and her pussy gets wet for you and she's always excited to be around you, then, I'm highly passionate and romantic and I get it back. So it works. So a healthy relationship is, well, kind of going back to Rolo, whatever your frame is, if she's in it and she's playing with you and not fighting against you, though, then you're doing fine. That's a healthy relationship. Then, as long as you guys are growing together, and as long as, you know, sex is constant and you guys are like really attracted to each other and she's not disrespectful of you, I'd say respect, sex, growth, and just like a feeling of stability. Like, and that mostly comes from picking the right girl, as you pointed out, Alex. Like, if you just pick the right girl, that's 80% of the relationship.
Yeah, I mean, I have nothing against guys like AMS or Rolo. I think that some things they say are correct, some things they say are total nonsense. I would say my big beef with the Red Pill community actually is I've kind of started to notice this is they only fucking circle jerk each other. Like, I have yet to have a real Red Pill person come on this channel. It's not because I don't invite them. I'm totally down to have like a debate and shit. Like, let's fucking have one of these Red Pill guys come on and we can have like a debate. But they only want to fucking like circle jerk each other. Like, they're kind of like afraid almost, I would say, to like be exposed to other ideas because they're so locked in like this identity they created based around their Red Pill beliefs. And they're like, I don't know. That's kind of what I've noticed, at least. So,
well,
to all the Red Pillars who are watching this, which is probably 1-0, come the fuck on. Don't be a bitch. Come on the channel. Let's have a chat. No, seriously, like, I'm all about meaningful debates, and maybe I'm wrong about some of this shit, but probably not.
My only experience with Red Pill is like hardcore is posting on the Red Pill subreddit. I'd post one post and it would go fucking gold and everyone would fucking love it. And then I post another one. Like, I posted one about me being super romantic with this girl and taking her virginity on the first date and then fucking her in the ass. And they're like, and I was even showing the text and they're like, this is fake. And I was like, dude, here's the actual text. They're like, you photoshopped it. I'm like, what? They're like, there's no way you could be this romantic with a girl and she loses her virginity. You're a beta. You're making this up. And I'm like, what the fuck? Or I would like make a comment like, some of you guys are fucking extreme. And I get banned for like 3 months. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I got nuked off the Red Pill community and they kept calling me like a chode or a chump. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
I think a lot of them are just, and I've seen it with the manosphere, is that they're
so locked into their identity they've created, which unfortunately a lot of it is a victim identity that I've noticed. Like, they just feel like, oh, I'm a man. It's so hard to be a man. I'm a victim, blah, blah, blah.
It's just feminism, but for men. That's
really what it is. It's like meninism.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next question. Alex, have you ever considered working in adult film? Appropriate question. I mean, that's obviously the end goal with all this thing. Like, why do you think I'm doing these interviews? No, I mean, to answer this question seriously, like, I do want to do more stuff in the porn world. Like, we got Sarah J coming on Friday, as I've announced about 1,000 times, because I'm pretty excited for that interview. But I do want to do more interviews with porn stars, maybe some collabs, but I don't want to actually do porn. First of all, I think with my fucked up neck, I wouldn't even be best qualified for it.
Just start an OnlyFans. You'll make tons of money.
Yes, OnlyFans. You know, it's funny. I was hanging out with like a few people last night, like guys and girls, and they were like suggesting, like, yeah, you should have an OnlyFans. I'm like, I know, but I need like a chick. Like, who's gonna? They're like, well, why don't it just be you? I'm like, yeah, because it's gonna be all gay dudes who just want to watch me like jerk off. Like, I don't want that shit.
If you could find like a really kinky chick who's like down to do like consistent videos with you, dude, you could make fucking bank, and you'd get pussy for the rest of your life for free. Like, I know that you're getting pussy, but I'm saying you get pussy thrown at you, just like you wouldn't even have to get on Tinder. They just fucking message you on OnlyFans.
There's some guys who have that hustle right now. There's this one rock musician. I was watching his interview. He was
from Attila. From Attila.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know. Now he's just doing only fucking girls on OnlyFans.
That's
he's got an interesting hustle.
His music's awesome.
I'll not post to something like that. All right. I see two kinds of girls. There are the ones who never get approached and they complain about, and there's the ones type who complain about getting approached too many times. I'm not seeing a question here, but I guess he's asking if I agree with this or disagree. Yeah, that's probably true to some extent. A lot of it also depends on perspective. Like, some girls, they get approached, but they don't even see it as an approach. Like, they were just like, oh, no, he was just being friendly. Like, no, that guy was trying to approach you. So a lot of it also depends. And some girls see everything as a guy hitting on them, when in reality, the guy was like maybe just like being nice. So I think a lot of it also depends on the girl's frame and what she sees as being approached and whatnot. What's it called? RAS or whatever, reticular activation system. Like, when you get like a Prius, you start noticing that everyone else has a Prius.
Oh,
so
okay.
yeah. It's one of those things. Okay. How do you avoid investing emotionally too much in a girl that shows red flags, but that you'd be interested in having sexual relationships with?
Don't see her too often. So the rule that we kind of teach is if you want her only for a fuck buddy, you need to see her maximum 6 times a month. Because if you're having sex with a girl a lot, it's almost impossible not to get attached unless you just like are so experienced that you just don't get attached anymore that easily. Or like you can very firmly control your mind if you have good mind control, like you know, that comes from either meditation or, like I said, experience. Once you're really a prolific lover, it's pretty easy not to fall in love with girls unless they're fucking gorgeous. If she's a 10, it's kind of hard not to get attached. And so the best way to kind of force yourself not to get attached is either to like very consistently be vigilant of your mind and your heart and see how you feel pulled in a direction, and then pull back when you feel that happening, and then set rules. Like I said, don't see her more than 6 times a month. That's what I would. So discipline and then mindfulness. That's your best strategy.
Well said, sir. Why are some guys hesitant about girls that say yes right away? Do you guys feel that yes, girls feel equality and sleep with every guy? Or is this guy's low self-esteem? I think it's probably guys' low self-esteem. I have no problem with girls who say yes right away. I prefer girls who say yes. I do not want at this point to like spend 4 hours trying to convince a girl to sleep with me. I'm not into that. It's like a turn off for me. So I want the girls who are super into me and who are down for anything, really, because they like me that much. Well, no, yeah, I think it probably is a guy's low self-esteem. I'm not really sure why, but yeah, I do know that there's some guys who are like, oh, she was too into me, so I turned her down. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I think that there is I think that somewhere in our biology is that natural, because you see it all around the world and all the civilizations. Like if a girl's promiscuous, we feel attracted to her sexually on one hand, but also we don't see her as relationship quality. And so I think a lot of guys are kind of have whatever the beta mindset. And so they see all girls as potential girlfriends. Whereas guys who are more prolific lovers, they kind of categorize girls. Okay, this girl's just a fuck, this girl's a serious thing. And so they can kind of like turn off the serious feelings. And they can be like, all right, she wants to suck my dick after 10 minutes. Well, fuck her, is she a troll or is she attractive? If she's attractive, then fucking why not? Like I see zero issue with it. So I would say that that's that mentality of seeing girls as potential girlfriends too much. And then, self-esteem. I think that they just are like, or going back to the original thing, like, we kind of see girls who are promiscuous as, not good. So even though you're sexually attracted to her, if she says yes too quickly, whatever, like your monkey brain is going to be like, okay, high partner count, like, I don't know, diseases or just like bad reputation, like the guy who fucks the sluts, even though, not a lot of guys actually fuck the sluts. Like girls with lay counts above like 30 are actually quite rare, to be completely honest. Like there's some girls who have fucking, I know them, who have triple digit notch counts, but it's not as common as the red pill, for instance, will make you believe. Even girls who are promiscuous are really not that promiscuous. So they may seem flirty with a lot of guys or make out with a lot of guys, but how many guys do they actually, put the dick in their pussy? Yeah, it's not that much. So I think it's this wiring of like staying away from too promiscuous of girls for, those aforementioned reasons. And then, it's low self-esteem. Like, okay, she must be trolling me. I've definitely felt that before, especially when I was working on my self-esteem, or I was having like low periods in my life, I'd be like, no, there's no way that this, especially with really attractive women, no way that she's already super down. But what you'll see with, I think another guy made the comment about girls who aren't approached a lot. Really beautiful women don't get approached a lot. They'll get looked at, and guys will do like indirect approaches, and kind of like find a way to try and help her or like find her way for her, but they'll never actually like go up and do it. So those girls aren't getting approached a lot. So when they find a guy that they really like, so I've noticed with smoking hot girls, it's a little bit easier. I think the hardest women in terms of how much effort you have to put in are like 8s who are hot but not that beautiful. So they're used to guys wanting to fuck them because they're hot, but they're not so beautiful. So guys don't actually like settle down with them because they don't want to introduce them to their friends. And they get fucked a lot. But they don't get asked for relationships a lot. So that makes them kind of bitter towards men. So I've seen the girls who like will give you the most nasty rejections are the girls who are like just cute, but have a great body. And they're the most vicious when it comes to rejections. But the most like warm and cool girls are the most like fucking beautiful girls because they know they're beautiful. And they know that they come maybe from a good family, and they're raised right, and they're sweet and they're kind. Even if they reject you, they'll be super nice.
Yeah, I think there's some truth to what you're saying. I do agree with that. I've kind of noticed that to some extent. How does a man start from scratch in your area to cultivating connections, meeting new people, having dope social circles, and getting girls? Well, you just make a post in a Playing with Fire mastermind group saying that you moved to an area. No, I mean, I don't know. I think you're probably better. You're probably better able to answer this question, Hector.
Okay, so my main strategy is find your plug, right? You got to plug for drugs, even though I don't do them anymore. It's been a long time, but you find that one guy, right? And he's the connect that finds all the shit for you. You find your social plug. That's the guy who gets all the parties, has all the girls around. Find that guy, become friends with him, but don't be like kissing his ass, sucking his dick and, trying too hard to fucking ingratiate yourself into his social circle, because he's good with people. He knows, bottom figures when he needs them. So, but find that plug and be cool with him, and like go for lunch with him and spend one-on-one time with him and hang out with him, go out and pick up girls with him. Once you're in with him, he's going to be giving you all the contacts. Then you build up your own contacts through him. Then eventually you're just going to meet so many people on your own through him too, that you're going to have your own network. And then you're going to have social status, and you're going to have people, and you're going to have friends and girls. So find that plug, find the plug. You're going to know him. He's going to be the guy with all the girls at the party.
Touche. How to break up with a girl that's getting invested a lot in? Is it better to do it over text or face-to-face? I mean, I think it's kind of cruel to break up with someone over text. So I personally would do it on the phone or in person. But, most people are pussies, so they'll try to do it over text or just ghost on them. But, yeah, I mean, I personally would do it on the phone at least, or over FaceTime.
When you say break up, is this if it's a serious girlfriend, or is it probably is a casual partner, I'm guessing, and he's just using the word. I don't really use the word break up when it comes to casual girls, but I'm guessing that's what he's leaning towards. If it's serious, if you text that girl, man, you're a piece of shit. Like, fucking go, like, have dinner with her and sit her down and just be like, hey, and then just give it to her. If it's a casual girl, you can just ghost, like it's not like you guys
don't ghost. I hate the ghosting shit. I was giving
if she's not serious with you and you're just casually fucking and she's like, hey, what's up? Just ignore the hey, what's up text.
I hate the ghosting. I prefer the white lie. I don't know. Ghosting is like a big pet peeve of mine.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, is she okay? Well, here's the other thing. So I've had girls where I was like, all right, I want to stop seeing her, so I just stopped responding. Then she'll hit me up one more time. If she hits me up again, yeah, okay, I'm gonna address it. And then if she asks me like, hey, are you done with me? Or like, hey, what's going on? I'll be like, okay. And then I'll explain it to her. If it's super casual, let me fucked a few times, yeah, I'll just ghost the first text. But if she follows up, yes, of course, I'm gonna address the situation. Or if she specifically asks me like, hey, what's up? Am I getting ghosted? I'll be like, yeah. I'll be like, I'm X, Y, blah, blah, blah. I'll be honest. I won't lie. So I'll either avoid it if it's super casual, but if you have been seeing her for a while, so if this is a situation where she's like, you've been fucking her for like 3-4 months, okay, yeah, you gotta tell this girl, I wouldn't just ghost her.
My dad was seeing this girl in DR. This was like a year ago or so, and then he flew, they went on vacation together, and then he flew to see me, and then he was like, how to come up with good breakup text? I was like, what? He's like, I'm not feeling chemistry anymore. I'm like, I'm not gonna fucking help you send a tag this girl that you traveled with for
no, that was so bad.
Oh, I'm like, why don't you just call? He's like, it's awkward. I'm like,
it's awkward. Perfect.
I'm like, no, I'm not fucking getting involved in this.
Хорошо.
I thought you had a good text game. Marketing bullshit. I've had a crush on this girl for a long time. She works in supermarket, but don't know how to open up. What would you do? Well, I definitely don't recommend opening up. Don't profess your love to this girl. I would probably just, shoot the shit with her and just get her number and then get her out for drinks. I mean, opening up. I mean, I'm just imagining this guy like coming in with a fucking stereo and da 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 da. Hey, goodbye. And he just starts professing his love. So don't do that. Yeah, just keep it casual, keep it low key, get her number, get her out for drinks, get to know her, escalate, and then go from there. Okay, we had actually a pretty good question. Is it better to be mean to a girl or nice to her to be attractive? Okay, this idea that girls are turned on by guys who are mean to them is pure nonsense. I think it comes from this idea that girls like assholes, but girls don't like assholes because they're mean to the girls. Usually, if you watch guys who are considered assholes, they're actually sweet to the girl they're trying to bang.
It's the other guys who call them an asshole because
yeah, it has more to do with the fact that they like a guy who's like high value, who doesn't give a shit, who's like alpha, rather than they like a guy who's mean. Like meanness is not a turn off for anybody. So do not be mean to a girl. Don't be overly nice to someone either, like just because you want to bang them. I think that's more to do with being a genuine human being and just being able to have a conversation, not being needy, and again being high value rather than being mean or nice. Worst types of students you've had? Oh shit!
Fucking Jesus!
You go first.
I go first. Oh fuck! Throw me in the fire.
Okay. Well, playing with fire.
Yeah. Oh my god. Okay. So, I would say, well, the first category is the guys who don't do the work. That's the simple one. They don't listen to what the fuck you say. They do their own stuff. And then they blame you when things aren't going well. They don't straight up blame you, but they're gonna like be passive aggressive and say like, "Oh, I'm not getting the results I want." It's like, okay, show me your text. Tell me about your last time with her. Well, dude, you didn't listen to a fucking word I said. You're doing exactly what you've been doing since the very beginning. So the guys who don't work, and then the guys who don't take responsibility, which is kind of similar to it, but it's more about them not. They're expecting some sort of magical pill. I don't want to get into specific stories because I don't want to shit on any clients. I've had some bad experiences, but I don't want to shit on any clients. But the ones who don't take responsibility and who don't understand that their mistakes are their mistakes. I can coach you all I can, and you can even be listening to what I'm doing, but if you're not executing it properly, if you don't get the experience necessary to fully understand it, I can say an idea to a guy and it means something completely different to me and something completely different to him because, and I try to explain it as best as I can, but it's not going to fully get into his like gut and really understand it until he goes out and tries it. And then he goes, I've had students who were good. And then like years later, or like me with Chase, things that Chase would tell me, and then years later, I'd be like, oh, fuck, I remember that random ass article that I read like 4 years ago. Now I finally fucking get it. Like, I didn't get it. Or it's something he would tell me. And even me, like, who worked his fucking ass off, I'd remember 2 years later something that he randomly sent me in a private chat or an email. And I'm like, oh, I should listen to that 2 years ago. Now I get the lesson. So responsibility and guys who don't do the work.
Yeah, I mean, I would say a lot of it is the guys who have more, they're more stuck on the identity they've created that they cannot be successful with women, blah, 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 the victim mindset they have, than on getting better. Those are the hardest because they just keep looking for excuses to fail and then to justify their identity. So those are really, really hard. You can like sit down and break it down to them what they're doing a million times, and then they agree with you that night, and the next day they go right back to their old behaviors. Those are really hard. The ones who are lazy, not willing to do the work. The ones who expect to do everything for them. The ones who like refuse to think for themselves. Those are really tricky because they just want you to come up with like every text for them. Like, dude, like, you have to at some point text the girl yourself. Like, I can't be there with you 24/7.
And I'll set them up for failure too. I'll be like, you write this text, and then they fuck it up. I'm like, you should have did this. They're like, why didn't you tell me? I'm like, dude, how are you ever gonna? I can't hold your fucking dick for you. Like, yeah. Unless you
get the premium version of the product, in which case we can actually hold your dick. That we are launching right now.
It's expensive, but we can do it.
Are American women that bad? There's a lot of manosphere content right about men leaving the West and find women abroad. No, they're really not that bad. I mean, I would say women in South America and Eastern Europe, that's the word I'm trying to get at, are definitely overall, we're talking about averages here again, are probably better. But that being said, there's some really awesome women in America. Like, I've been in America for a while now. I live in Miami, as I'm sure most people will know. And, I met really cool girls here, like even in a city like Miami. They exist. They're definitely out there. So, no, I think a lot of it is just like what I see in the manosphere community is like, I think the term for this is attribution error. So, for example, a guy has like one or two bad experiences with women, and he assumes all women are bad, right? He has one or two bad experiences with women in the West, and he assumes all women in the West are bad. So it's just like attribution error. You just assume. That's like the equivalent of a guy having like one or two bad experiences with someone from a certain race and just assuming that whole race is bad, right? Again, it's just like, it's faulty logic, basically.
Yep. Spot on.
Sup, Alex and Hector, just tuning in. Hope the stream is going well. Thank you, sir. Much appreciated. Okay. How do you manage fancying a housemate and make a move?
Oh, fuck, man.
Probably avoid that. I don't know. I mean,
I've known guys who've done it, and it always goes bad.
I wouldn't want to live with a chick, honestly. I've done it before, and I'm not going to do it again.
Yeah, it would get awkward unless, like, specifically, like, you guys have a really good connection, and like, I mean, yeah, if it's like a perfect storm, and like you're like, okay, I'm willing to date this girl, or you're already living with her, then I guess go for it. But unless if you just want to smash, I don't know. Like maybe she has that kind of personality where she's like a bro and she's willing to like suck your dick when you want, and you're like totally not jealous if she brings some guy and you hear her getting smashed in the other room. Then then go ahead. But if you're going to get attached, or she's not someone that, well, there's the opposite problem. Like if you're going to get attached, then you're going to be living with this girl. But if you just want to fuck her casually, well, she's probably going to get attached, because usually if one person's casually fucking the other person and doesn't feel that much, by fucking definition almost, the other person's going to get attached. Very rarely is two people going to be totally cool with casual sex. Eventually one person is going to get attached.
Touche. How do you feel about only doing one night stands, no rotation? I know it's going to be hard to consistently bang on a regular basis, but I've been doing it for a month and I like it so far. It just really depends on what you like. I mean, me personally, I prefer to see girls again because that's just kind of where I'm at. But if that's what you like, then that's what you like, man. I mean, I don't think there's any right or wrong. It just comes down to your preferences.
Look at that coat. A fucking dope ass coat.
Yeah, I know. I'm pretty sure this guy taught him before. We've done some coaching calls. Yeah, he's got interesting swagger.
That's some fucking swag right there.
Okay. Wait. What is this comment? Okay. I don't really understand this question. Peace and love, PWF. Keep it real. Game coming. We love you. Oh, thanks, man. Much appreciated. Okay, this is a question to you. How old is he and what age started getting good results?
Me? Oh, okay. I'm 28 now. I started getting results, honestly, as soon as I started doing it, doing game. So 18.
Which services from apps do you guys pay for, and which one? Okay, so I'll quickly sum this up. Tinder Gold, Bumble Boost. I don't pay for Hinge. I don't pay for Boost. I don't pay for any of these special things. I just pay for premium because it makes my life easier, because I can see girls who like me and it saves me time. That's my take on that. So only pay for Tinder Gold and Bumble Boost.
Perfect.
Okay. How long and how much practice would you say it takes to get decent at cold approach? I'm about 300 approaches with 8 dates and no lays. Yeah, you got one.
That's not bad. If you just started, that's not bad. But you have a lot more to go, like you said.
But he's at, let's look at the ratio here. He's 300 approaches to get 8 dates is pretty bad, but 8 dates and no lays, like he's clearly doing something wrong on the dates.
I think that he's probably very new, and he's probably mass approaching. So he needs to be
mass approaching.
He needs to be targeting approaches.
Not sexually screening at all.
Or he could be dog shit at texting game, and he's losing the texts, or he's losing the dates over text.
That's possible. But the 8 dates and no lays is the most concerning part. Like, how do you go on 8 dates and not sleep with any of the chicks? He's got to have pretty bad in-person game. I feel bad because we're talking about him like in the third person, like he's like some kind of like creeper or something like that. But I would say for you, man, like.
Well, he probably is just starting on cold approach and doesn't have any social circle background. That's probably what's wrong. I would say actually start doing social circle and start making friends, because you got to learn basic social skills. If you start from nothing and are just right out the gate doing cold approach, and that's your only way of learning game, yeah, you got a lot of work coming. Because I came from a background of social circle, so I was learning like basic social norms and basic, social mores, and I learned how body language works and how eye contact works, and reading facial expressions and listening to people's voices and feeling people's emotions. So I had already the social radar. So then once I did the day game, I started doing cold approach. The like I said, the social instinct was already there. It's just now a one-on-one instead of a group party situation. So I'd say,
I think there's definitely something off with this in-person game. I think for this guy, I would recommend getting on some dating apps and actually hooking up with some girls, getting a few booty calls, and like actually having women that you sleep with in your life, because the no lace part, I think, is like, it's just a horrible ratio. I mean, I think is definitely something. I mean, I would have to actually watch him approach or something like that to give more accurate feedback, but I think that's like the most disturbing part of the statistic. Have you guys ever had a crazy pregnancy scare? No, I've actually never had one of those.
One, maybe. I busted inside of her. She had red flags until the red flag conviction, and we like that kind of went on a trip, but we met somewhere, and I busted inside of her a few times because I'm a fucking idiot, and then she went to travel, and then like she felt sick, and she had told me before she had had abortions. She had like 3, so I knew this girl was fucking fertile.
Damn, she should get like some kind of like frequent abortion program or something like that.
Yeah, frequent flyer miles. I don't. Yeah, and then she like was on the phone with me, and she's like, I feel sick, and then like threw up, and I heard her like throw up, and I was like, but this girl had severe borderline personality disorder, so she might have been fucking with me. But I was a little bit like, okay. But that's the only one that, I came close.
I have one question. Do you have any cheekier banter lines to a girl who told me she's an accountant? I don't know. I might say like something like, I'm imagining you in a tight black dress, white blouse, and sexy nerd glasses. I don't know. Just do something about her outfit. Okay. I mean, this guy keeps posting this question. Why I feel so cringe doing day game? I don't know, dude. I'm not you. I have no idea what you're doing. I haven't seen you do day game, but it's probably because you're doing awkward shit. I mean, if I'm being truthful. So I don't know. You can make some videos and post them and get feedback from people.
I think if I'm reading this right, I think he feels cringe, like the idea of it. I think that he doesn't realize that approaching random girls is okay. And it's okay to walk up to a girl that you don't know and say something. I think that he's just a bit socially conditioned.
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
Yeah. Yeah.
In that case, I mean, yeah, though that's like normal social programming. I don't know, if you do it enough, you'll get over it real quick. I mean, it feels cringe doing door-to-door sales, but if you spend time knocking on doors, you kind of get over that pretty fast.
It's okay to talk to girls.
Do you guys got advice for DMing holy girls on Insta? Holy girls? I don't know. I have never really DM'd a holy girl. I prefer bad girls. I don't know. What do you think about this, Hector?
Me, Sean. So he's somewhere in South Asia, I guess. I would say if you're dealing with really religious women, my experience, but I'm coming from Midwest Christian experience. I don't know if he's dealing with like Hindu or Muslim, but most of them aren't what they pretend to be, is my experience. They're pretty down to do some freaky shit. They'll let you do anal. Like, I know that's a meme, but it's fucking true. Like, they'll let you do anal, but you can't fuck them, or they'll suck your dick on the first date, but no sex till marriage. And I'm just like, I mean, at this point, I think you've disappointed the Lord already. So just be normal. Like, just fucking treat her as if she's a girl. And if she's interested, then she's going to want to suck your dick. I don't think there's any particular, like, well, you got to pretend to be a Christian and, have Bible sessions with her. Like, I don't think you got to do any of that. So just treat her like a normal girl.
I had a buddy who, the story always cracks me up. He used to go on these, like, language exchange apps. I don't even know if they have them anymore, but where he would like he would pretend like he's just trying to learn Korean. He would meet up with all these like fobby married Korean women for coffee. He said he would go like super platonic, like he just wants to learn Korean, and he said he would like bang like half of them.
Jesus Christ.
Like most of them in his car and shit. And I was just like, that cracks me up. But yeah, but he was running pretty good bang Korean girls game, I guess. How do you guys manage how do you manage guys going for your girlfriend at parties when she flirts back with them and uses them to make you jealous? Well, that wouldn't be, any girl who does that would not be my girlfriend in the first place.
Break up with her. That's
yeah, I mean,
are you misinterpreting flirting? Is she just being nice?
That's
or
true.
Is she like specifically, like, if you have a sweet girlfriend, hopefully she's just like a sweet person and not a fucking cunt to everyone. But if she's if you feel like if you have that in your gut and you can separate your jealousy from like what she's actually doing, if you feel like she's actually trying to make you jealous, like usually you can tell if a girl's trying to make you jealous when she's like, well, she's like hardcore, like watch touching. Touching is the big thing. If she's touching him, like touching his arm or his leg, that's an instant like, no. You get the fuck out of here. If she's like going out her way to talk to him a lot, and then if you see her ever look back at you, then it's a fucking game. Or like she really hardcore flirts with him and then immediately comes back to you and starts flirting with you and being all sweet and nice, then it's also a game. And she's trying to make you jealous. I'd break up with her. That's very simple. Break up with her.
Yeah, that would be a huge turnoff for me. It means she doesn't really respect you. All right. Dates always have a good connection energy after some making out. Usually ends being late and they leave, and I don't get a second date. Yeah, because you get close to sex, but sex doesn't happen. So don't wait so long to escalate. I mean, like, don't make out with a chick for like 2 hours and then it gets too late. Like, making out is just like, oh, you can see my dog in the background. But yeah, making out is just a tool to move things forward. So yeah, I would say that the problem is just in your escalation. Make out with her for a little bit, then start kissing down her neck and then whatnot. And then, yeah.
Once you escalate with a girl past a certain point and she's at your house, especially if it's first date, you kind of have a timer. You got to fuck her. Because if you get to a certain point with a girl and then she leaves, your consistency rate, I've seen this in myself and clients, some guys are really good at keeping them still interested, and that's because you still have boyfriend value. But especially if you come off as a fuckboy and you get a girl to like you finger her or you make her out or make out with her or eat her pussy, but then you don't fuck, you have a severely high chance of losing her because she knows the next time she comes over, she's probably going to fuck you. So she'll be out of that mood now that she's not horny and you're not turning her on anymore. And she's going to like discipline herself and not come over.
ASD is a real thing. I think you guys have a really good article on this anti-slut defense.
Yeah.
I remember reading that.
Yeah, exactly. It's anti-slut defense. Yeah.
What age did you lose your virginity? I was 19.
18.
Hector, would you say you're most likely to get results if you're doing cold approach with a wingman or solo game? And what would you say was your motivation to where you are now?
Solo, for sure. I only go out with guys for day game if it's a client or if it's a guy I know who's really good with girls, and then we can kind of hype each other up and it's a little bit more fun. Like we go to, have lunch and hang out, and then we can just approach a couple girls super casual. But normally I'm solo day gaming all the time. Day game became kind of like ideally this is where you want to get it. Like it's just natural. Like you can't go out for day game sessions, 100%. Those are great. But what I like to do is make it part of my life. So I'm going to the grocery store. Okay, look out for girls. And at some point it became so addicting where I just want to go get groceries. Like, don't put a fucking cute girl in front of me because I'm just going to end up approaching like 10 girls because once I do one, I'm going to do 15. My motivation to where I am now, my fucking intense, passionate, like I love the shit out of women. I love them. I've loved them since I was little. Like I find them fascinating. Even before I was sexual, before, when I was young and I just, I didn't have a sex drive, I still was fascinated by them. So I love them on all levels. I love the way they smell, the way they look, the way they touch, the way they taste, everything about them. So I was in love with them. So I knew that if I wasn't with women, I would be miserable. So I had to learn this skill. So it was a necessity for me. I was miserable when I wasn't good with women. So I had to get to a point of mastery or even grand mastery where I could get potentially any woman that I wanted, or at least any woman of the top caliber if I worked hard enough. So I was driven by necessity.
Or no. All right, let's take like two more questions. I'm older, 40s, late count, around 100, can get 6s and 7s all day long, 8 sometimes, 9, 10s, rarely ever. Any suggestions to improve this? I think it probably has to do with how you're meeting girls. Probably, I'm assuming. Well, yeah. We need more information. Like, how are you mainly meeting these girls? Are you meeting them through dating apps? Are you mainly meeting these girls through cold approach? Are you mainly meeting them through friends and family? Yeah, I think that's like the key piece of information we would need to know.
Day game and do it and set you already have a huge lay count and you can get laid if you get horny. So discipline yourself and say, no more McDonald's, only 5-star restaurants. So only fucking 8s, 9s, and 10s.
True.
That's good. That's your focus, and you can't approach any other girls besides that unless you're really horny and you need to lay. And if you discipline yourself and you're only going after 9s and 10s, you're eventually going to make those common.
True. And you can match with any girl on Tinder who's below an 8. Yeah. My first dates, and mostly in lace, sometimes no lace, but in either case, they instantly lose interest, never second dates. I don't understand all Tinder dates, by the way. I mean, it could be any number of things. I mean, maybe you're bad in bed. Maybe you get awkward after sex. Maybe you're getting needy. I think it could be any number of things, but
I think it probably doesn't. My read is if you're fucking girls a lot first date, you're a hardcore fuckboy. So you have that frame locked down, but you have almost zero boyfriend potential. So you don't have to have I'm a boyfriend or I'm a lover, even though you're on that extreme right now. You can have something in the middle. So you need to be, I would say, it could be the things you mentioned, but I would say here's an experiment. For the next girls that you're fucking, I would say have them sleep over, have breakfast with them in the morning, and tell them you want to see them again. And like I said, go a little bit extreme with this and then see if it gets the opposite or the same results, and then pull it back a little bit if it doesn't. But if it is working, then go in that direction where show more interest, show them that you do want to see them again, talk to them more, post-sex cuddling, do a lot more cuddling. Like I said, have breakfast with them, tell them, hey, I'd like to see you again, let's get together this weekend. They'll be like, okay, cool. And then over text, you set up logistics. So show interest in seeing them again. And then let's see what else. Boyfriend potential. So boyfriend potential is basically just, does she see more with you? She doesn't necessarily need to see I'm going to marry this guy. She just needs to know there's at least going to be some level of, not just primal connection, but human connection where this guy actually wants to get to know me. So I'd say start deep diving more, which means really trying to get to know her and not, you're probably running purely arousal dates. Self-explanatory. You need to be running a little bit more similarity, which means you need for her to feel like you guys actually have things in common. You have values in common. You have goals in common. You have hobbies in common, and try and show that with her, and she'll see that and be like, okay, not only is this guy hot and I want to fuck him and he's kind of a fuckboy, but he's also kind of cool. I want to keep seeing him. Then once you consistently start sleeping with her, eventually she's just going to get attached and want a relationship anyways.
Huh. Interesting thought experiment. All right, good stuff, guys. Thank you for joining us. Hector, if people want to find more about you, learn more about your coaching, how can they do that?
So check out my the YouTube channel for Girls Chase. It should be in the link in the description, or just type in Girls Chase. If you want to sign up for coaching, what I suggest to go to girlchase.com, and there should be a tab on the right side, and it says coaching. I do Skype coaching, or you can follow me on Instagram, and I do Patreon questions. You can sign up, and it's not that expensive. My coaching is a bit expensive, to be completely honest and upfront. But my Instagram coaching, you can just send me questions like this, and then I'll just send you a DM response. And you can sign up for that. You can sign up for 4 questions a month. If you have something you want to ask me, you can do that. It's a little bit of a cheaper option. But if you really want to do phone coaching, girlschase.com, right tab, sign up for phone coaching. You'll sign up for a call. I'll get an email. We'll schedule something, and we'll talk for 10 minutes and see if coaching is right for you. All right.
Awesome, guys. We got another one of these coming up. Tomorrow I'm going to be on my birthday, fucking working on my birthday for you guys.
Happy birthday.
I'll be 31. Crazy shit. Nice. But yeah, so I'm going to be on Sterling Cooper's channel answering text game questions from porn fans. And then Friday we got Sarah J coming on, and we got some awesome videos coming out this week. So stay tuned and stay tuned. All right, bro. Good chatting.
Good chatting, man.
Have a good night, man. I know it's pretty late over there.
Yeah, I'm going to go play World of Warcraft.
All right. Take it easy.
Ciao, bro.